What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Nora. Thank you so much for watching. Before we jump into today's video, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, follow your girl on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, because you already know we're growing the family across all platforms. So we're back with another girl talk video. I'm kind of liking having these at the beginning of the month because I think it's kind of a nice way to like set things up, if you will. But today we are going to be talking about aesthetics, the whole trends of having eras, and just kind of what social media is doing to individuality, what social media is doing to style, personal style, fashion, just all the things of how social media is influencing us, and how I personally think it is starting to really affect individuality. I don't know, this might be somewhat of a controversial topic, maybe even more coming from me because, you know, obviously being a content creator, someone who specifically kind of focuses within fashion, doing hauls all the time. I do videos where I talk about trends for the year, but stick with me here. There's a method to my madness, and I still very much have an opinion. So hopefully y'all enjoy this video and let's jump right in. So as y'all already know, or if you are new to these videos, I don't really have like an agenda or try to write down like anything in particular that I want to cover, but you know, I just kind of like to go off the dome, right? Like I want this to be a pretty genuine, natural conversation. I'm sitting here, as you can see today, we are not glam. I'm in my little blue light glasses, and we just gonna chit chat, okay? We just gonna have a cute little key, if you will. So I've noticed, and I think a lot of us have noticed, kind of this whole phenomenon of labeling different trends, and honestly, it feels like every 6 to 8 weeks we have a new trend and a new era that people are diving into, you know, in social media, whether it is specific to fashion trends. Okay, we had Barbie core, we had cottage core, we had grandma, I don't even know, it was like a grandma aesthetic, we had like the super girly girl, we have quiet luxury, logomania. I feel like now, what was the recent one? Mob wife aesthetic, which, child, for one, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole, because y'all gonna learn to stop messing with history and realize anything related to the mob wife, ain't nothing aesthetic about that. That is true history and lifestyle. So that's for one. For two, let's be so for real. But essentially, you've got an era and aesthetic for just about everything. Or you'll see folks talking about like the slick back bun era, or that trend is done. We're over the slick back buns and the gold jewelry, which again, let's be so fucking for real, because for one, a lot of the people that are talking about that trend is over and done. Baby, that wasn't really targeted towards you, and to be honest, it was never a trend. A lot of folks in other cultures have been doing that for years. It is just a part of their style, our aesthetic, if you will. So there's been a lot of different ones that I'm kind of just like, what are we trying to get at here, right? What are we trying to attain? Barbie core, for instance, I do kind of understand why I feel like that blew up so much, because it was kind of around the time the Barbie movie was coming out. Barbie child, let me tell you, I don't know what kind of budget they have, but it felt like everywhere you looked, brands, companies, stores, on the runways, everyone was diving into the Barbie fashion. So like, I understand that. But then all of a sudden it was like mermaid core, and it's kind of like, okay, at my big age, baby, I don't want to dress like Ariel. Like I don't want to look like a little mermaid at my big age. So I always sometimes had a really hard time understanding, what are we getting at? What are we trying to accomplish here? Why is it that social media, fashion, digital marketing as a whole, and especially social media, because I feel like social media is kind of the monster behind it all. You know, obviously now, most of us have a handheld digital device that we walk around with, have attached to us at all times. So the accessibility to seeing these things is obviously, you know, magnified, of course. You know, back in the day when people just were reading magazines, fashion magazines, yes, you were still kind of keeping up with trends, but it wasn't in your face the way it is now, right? And it wasn't even so much now that it was trends. These are full-on aesthetics. These are full-on eras, you know, girls in luxury, soft girl era, that now I feel like it has created such an identity crisis that people do not know who they are anymore, okay? People do not know who they are. And even if you are in this space where you're trying to figure yourself out, you're in this constant state of feeling behind and like you're always having to play catch up, because they're freaking changing every 6 to 8 weeks. It's like, okay, I'm trying to figure out soft girl lifestyle. Am I in my soft girl era? And then before you know it, it's like, boom, we're mob wives now. You need a fur coat. You need to like pile on a whole ton of jewelry. Like what are we trying to attain here? And I'm sure for a lot of people, it is very, very confusing, okay? It is very confusing. And I do not think it is a healthy way to navigate life. And even again, when we're talking about fashion and trying to find your personal style, I think this is why it is so difficult and hard for people to understand their personal style and still know how to navigate wearing cool things, falling in love with trends, but still keeping a piece of who you are and your individuality with it as well. Now, don't get me wrong. I do not think trends altogether are bad. Again, I am someone who puts out videos monthly or quarterly talking about trends in fashion. I do not necessarily think there is anything wrong with, you know, finding motivation in these eras and aesthetics, if you will. But I think it needs to be just that. I think it needs to be maybe just motivation. I think it needs to be maybe just inspiration. I think where things get a little bit testy and a little bit scary is when folks are trying to emulate these eras, these aesthetics, these lifestyles, and are trying to like somehow cookie cut their life into fitting that when it's not natural to who they are. And then I think it's even crazier and even scarier when you see people feeling like they have to be a chameleon and shift every 6 to 8 weeks, the same way that the trends are shifting and changing as well. Have there been trends that have come out that even me, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this? Absolutely. Was I someone who always wore a fur coat? No. Is it anything groundbreaking and new? No as well. I am from the New England area. I am from the Northeast, baby. I grew up in the eras of watching Lil' Kims and Foxy Browns and Mary J's and Faith Evans and the likes of them. You know, your Misa Hiltons wearing fur coats. This is not new, baby. My mother was out here in these Boston streets rocking fur coats for a while. So I'm not necessarily saying it's new. Was it something I always gravitated to? No. Of course, now that it's a trend, is it a little bit more accessible and I can find them a little bit more? Absolutely. And as I kind of continue to explore and play with my personal style, there are definitely going to be trends that I will incorporate, but I will always incorporate them in a manner and fashion that is true and authentic to me. And if I was going to kind of start us off with any kind of pointers and tips in making sure that even if you are following trends, if you are keeping up with the new eras and aesthetics and lifestyles, make sure that when you are incorporating them into your life, your personal style and wardrobe, that you are keeping them true to who you are. If you know you are someone who doesn't love animal prints, and let's just say, like we talked about, leopard prints and tortoise prints are gonna be huge, baby, don't buy into it, okay? If you know it's not something that's true to you, don't buy into it, because overconsumption happens. You're constantly purchasing items that you thought you were really gonna love and you don't wear them, and they just take up space in your closet. So just make sure you're tapping into things that make sense to you. Make sure you're tapping into things that are true to your personal style and your individual ways of expressing. Norah, I don't know what my personal style is. I'm having a hard time navigating my personal style. I'm having a hard time tapping into that and understanding what that is. And I love that you asked that question, and I'm here to help. For one, take a break from the internet, okay? Take a break from the internet. And even if that means taking a break from my content, I totally understand. Because again, I do understand. I am part of it as well. You know, when we are as content creators hopping across all these social media platforms and we're doing unboxings, we're showing you things that we're buying, we're talking about trends, trend reports, what's happening during fashion weeks and fashion months, it is hard to not feel like, damn, I wanna partake. Damn, that looks really good. I kinda wanna feel like I wanna buy this. So I totally get it. So for one, take a break from social media, however that means. Maybe it's not every single platform. Maybe it's taking a little break from certain creators. Maybe it is unplugging altogether, but take a break. Take a break, go outside, go for a walk, touch grass. I promise you, it's life-changing to actually go out there and get some healthy sunlight, vitamin D, and just spending some time outside, okay? So take a break, step back from social media. Sometimes overconsumption, sometimes too much inspiration just clouds your judgment and makes it that much harder and that much difficult to hear your own voice. And a lot of times, our own voice is right. Our own voice already knows what we need, what we want, and how we want to express ourselves. And again, whether that's talking about personal style, whether that's talking about fashion, how you want to express yourself, or anything, okay? If you feel like, I do relate to the soft girl, soft life era, then by all means tap into that. But make sure that you are listening to yourself. You are listening to your own internal compass and making sure that you are navigating that in a way that makes sense for you. You want to tap into your soft girl life, your soft girl era, but everyone you're following online is shoving it down your throat and telling you that the only way to accomplish that is waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, eating 800 calories a day, drinking all of these green juices, doing this. Baby, maybe that's not what that looks like for you, and that's totally fine. Maybe it looks like, yeah, still waking up at your normal time. Maybe it looks like doing your nails at home. Whatever that looks like for you, tailor it to you and make sure you are personalizing it to a way that makes sense for your life. The thing that's so scary is that the internet is trying to make it seem that we all are living the same damn life, and baby, I promise you, a lot of us are not, okay? A lot of us are not living the same life. We are not on the same journey. A lot of us are not in the same chapter. Sometimes some of us, baby, are not even in the same book, and that's okay. Now, don't get me wrong. There are definitely folks on the other end who are very much living a very similar life. Again, I know I keep talking about content creators, influencers. Maybe it's because I'm in that space, but I hate to break it to y'all. A lot of these content creators, baby, are living the same life. They are doing a job and a career that, not for everyone, but for a lot of them, they do have the capacity to take 4 gym classes a day, okay? They do have the capacity to wake up at 5 a.m. and have a slow morning routine and, you know, do their journaling and their meditations and walking to their favorite coffee shop and having a matcha for 2 hours. There are a lot of content creators that, yes, that is truthfully their life. If that is not relatable to you, that's totally fine. But also don't be mad that folks are sometimes showing that, because that might also be their reality. Again, take breaks when you need to. Pull away from the internet when you need to. Interact with folks that, yes, if they feel a little bit more relatable and you can actually pull inspiration from them that feels a little bit more in line with your life, fantastic. If you feel like following along with people that might not be that relatable is a detriment to more of your self-esteem, take a break, okay? Take a break. I know we went off on a little bit of a tangent there talking about trying to find your personal style, but I say all of that to say, take a break from the internet, unplug when you need to. Take a break from all the social media sites. Put Pinterest down. Baby, you can build as many mood boards and as many aesthetic pages as you'd like, but if you are not listening to yourself and really reflecting on what makes sense with these internal voices that are honestly helpful, it's never going to accomplish anything. Another little tip that I like to give people is use yourself as your own mood board, okay? You should be your own inspiration. You should be your own era that you are navigating, and use that as a starting place. Look back at old pictures. Go back on Facebook, go back on Instagram. Baby, even if you're one of those millennials like me who still has your photo bucket, pull up old pictures, okay? As painful as it might be, go through some of your archives, your own archives, and just kind of revisit different moments, revisit different looks, revisit just different eras and time periods of your own life and analyze, when did I really feel amazing? When did I kind of feel like my best self? Ooh, that outfit, baby, I loved. I ate her down. This look, probably not my strongest. You know, really take that time to revisit your own moment. And I think this is such a huge point, because I think so many of us think you always have to look for inspo and motivation externally, when baby, half the time, the secret sauce is already right here within. Like, the secret sauce is already brewing, and that's what makes it the secret sauce, is because it's you. It is literally, it's just absolutely absolutely designed for you and tailored to you, that it's your secret sauce. Like nobody else is gonna put that shit on the way you do. No one is going to exude your personal soft girl era, your personal luxury girl era, or whatever era you know, that you're trying to be in. No one is ever going to be able to tap into that and embody that the way that you are. So why not use your own life, your own experiences and moments and archives and photos to be that inspo? So do that. Take inventory on your own and revisit those moments and start from there. If you remember outfits, moments that you absolutely loved, I always say kind of build on that. I have kind of created my own version of my capsule wardrobe. Now, does my capsule wardrobe necessarily look like everyone else's on the internet? Not necessarily. There might be some little pieces and some bits and bobs here and there that, yes, definitely align. But my capsule wardrobe is uniquely created for Norah. It makes perfect sense for me, my energy, my vibe. It fits all my different moods. It literally looks like it was tailored and curated for me. And that's how it should be. Now, as a content creator, of course, if I find some fire ass shit, baby, I'm always gonna put y'all on because that's just who I am. I'm gonna put y'all on and it's just who I am to my core and who I am to my nature. Again, if you align and you can gain inspiration from that, and whether you add your own little sauce and flair to it and make it your own, job well done for me, okay? Like, I'm super ecstatic. But that's really all I want. I never want anyone to consume my content and watch my content and feel like, well, shit, if I am not navigating life exactly the way that Norah is, I'm behind, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. That is never my intention, because let's just share some secrets here and be super vulnerable. Half the time, baby girl, that's how I'm feeling on this end anyways, okay? I do not always feel like I have it all together. There are definitely times where I have to take breaks from the internet as well, because I'm like, crap, people who look like me, people who are in, similar age range are living life very differently. They can attain this, they can dress this way, they can buy these things. It happens to me as well. I know for a lot of us, social media is kind of like that escape. You know, it's an opportunity to dream. It is an opportunity to just kind of feel innovative and create and escape, you know, for some of us. Some of us are watching content creators, are following folks on different social media platforms because it allows us to kind of tap into sometimes maybe a world that we don't really feel like we're a part of or is attainable or whatever it might be. And again, I totally get that because we are human, right? I totally understand that happening, but I do think there needs to be a healthy balance of not beating yourself up, not losing a sense of who you are in living in, you know, these dream worlds, these fantasy worlds that we can sometimes fall into on the internet. Social media can be a beautiful thing. The internet can be a beautiful thing. I think it can be a beautiful thing to, again, spark that creativity, spark that innovation. There are definitely a ton of people that I follow that I might not relate to 110%. You know, we might not wear the same exact things the exact same way, but I do still get inspiration from them. They do still motivate me. And I have found a way to make sure that I take that inspiration and motivation, and again, not to sound like a broken record, but tailor it to me. Tailor it to a way that is unique to me and suits me and fits me and serves me in a way as healthy as possible, right? So I totally understand that, and I think that's imperative to do that. So I don't also want to make it seem like social media is terrible, because it's not. There has been a lot of amazing opportunities and moments that we've all been able to partake in because of social media and the internet and the digital marketing space as well. I think where things start to get a little bit crazy is that some of us are super tough on ourselves and get so wrapped up in the internet and social media that we do also forget this is a business, okay? This is a business. Companies are using social media and the internet to market. Hence why I continuously say digital marketing space, because that is exactly what's happening here. Whether it is intentional or unintentional, because I definitely think both happen. Again, as someone who myself is a content creator and shares fashion a lot of times, for me, it is organically happening. But whether I want to agree or believe it or not, baby, this is marketing. I am pushing products out there into the world, whether I realize it or not, or whether it is intentional or not. That is exactly what is happening. So social media is a business, and remember that. Do not allow yourself to fall into consumerism all the time. That again, you lose every sense of yourself. Because something that I have noticed that I think is so interesting, I don't feel like a lot of us, not everyone, because I'm sure there are some people, but I don't feel like a lot of us fall into these same type of issues and qualms in person, right? Like, especially ever since the pandemic, people are not shopping in person as much. I don't feel like social interactions are happening as much as they were because obviously the world kind of went through that shift. I definitely think social media is a huge part of it because, again, it is just so accessible. You can literally pick up your phone, scroll for hours on TikTok, and the amount of information that you can consume in a short amount of time is absolutely insane. So I definitely think we can't be too hard on ourselves, you know, when jumping into social media. It should still be a fun place. It should still be a place where you can tap into creativity, innovation, but keep it a buck and remember, baby, this is a business, okay? This is a business, and a lot of these companies are using it for exactly that, to push products, to push ideas, to push personalities, to push styles, trends, eras, lifestyles, to push personas, okay? This is a business, and that's how a lot of these businesses make their money. You know, you sell a persona, you sell a lifestyle, you package it up enough in a way that enough people consume it, and you make money. And I just want a lot of us to hopefully spend more time in being able to decipher the two. It's okay to have fun with it. It is okay to indulge because, hey, again, I indulge, baby. I spend a lot of time on the internet. A lot, okay? Almost too much time. But you know what? I'm working on it day by day. But I think it's just important that folks kind of remember there's definitely, you know, agendas sometimes behind what these businesses are doing, but it can still be fun. You can still be yourself. You can still, you know, consume different trends and learn about different aesthetics and lifestyles without losing yourself. If you can really work on making sure that you maintain that individuality, whether we're talking about, you know, how you want to navigate life, what lifestyle you want to create for yourself and what kind of lifestyle you want to live, when we're talking about fashion and what trends you want to incorporate, when is something in for you, when is something out for you. The biggest thing is remembering, tailor it to you. Have fun with it, of course. Take the inspiration, take the motivation, take it in stride, take it in doses. Also take breaks when you need to. A lot of take here, okay? Hopefully you're taking notes as well. But take breaks when you need to. Take it in doses, but making sure that whatever you are applying to your life is specific to you. Make sure that you are tailoring things to you. Again, I know a lot of people sometimes get on the internet and will say, everything on social media is fake. Everything on social media is a facade. This can't be their life. This isn't true. And not to sound like a broken record, but I hate to break it to y'all. For some people, that really is their life. For some people, that really is how they dress. For some people, baby, mob wife aesthetic, soft girl life, luxury life has genuinely been their mantra forever, okay? But for some people, that is not the case. And it's being able to decipher the two. It's being able to protect yourself and in understanding the difference between the two. And again, taking what makes sense and matters most for you. I really love this topic, and I feel like there are so many different ways that we could dive into this even more. Like, again, we could really dive in even more on just personal style and fashion and kind of what social media is doing in that space. We could dive even more into maybe more of like the psyche behind all the lifestyles and the eras and making people feel like if my life doesn't look like this, I'm not really thriving. If I'm not glowing up like this, which that's a whole other conversation, right? Like, glow up era is high-key becoming hustle culture. But anyways, there are so many ways that we could take this topic and this conversation. So let's continue it down below in the comments. I always ask you all, let me know if you agree. Was there anything that kind of stuck out to you? You know, if there's anything that you did disagree with, obviously let's keep it cordial. You know, we want to keep it friendly, but everyone is entitled to their opinion. And if there's a different stance or opinion that you might have had on some of the things I shared, comment down below as well. If you'd like for me to kind of continue in this like topic area, making it almost kind of like a mini series within Girl Talk series, let me know that as well, because like I said, I feel like we could take this a lot of different ways, but this was definitely something on my heart because, again, as a content creator myself, specifically, you know, in fashion and style, I do understand what role I also play in, you know, sometimes making it tough for people to understand their own personal style. Like, shit, Norah put out another collective haul. Do I need to buy these things to be fashionable? Like, do I have to spend money on designer items? Can I find, like, I totally get it and I totally understand the role that I play. And again, it's something that I battle with as well. So I just kind of wanted to start the discussion, you know, about social media, what it's doing to individuality, what it's doing to the self, what it's doing to personal style, and kind of open the floor to your thoughts as well. Make sure you're following me across all platforms. Like we always say, I am Norah Justin on everything. If you don't see me usually here with long form content, make sure you're checking YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram. We've been picking up a little bit back over there. Instagram is not dead, so make sure y'all following me over there as well. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I love you so much. I'll see you in my next one. Bye, y'all.